There is a special kind of betrayal that happens when you get paid. On Friday, feel rich for 11 minutes, and by Monday, your bank account looks like it survived a raccoon attack. You check the numbers like there must be a mistake. You worked, you showed up. You answered emails with fake enthusiasm. You survived traffic, meetings, customers, managers, passwords, group chats, and that one coworker who says quick question before ruining your afternoon. Then the paycheck lands. And immediately, rent takes a bite, groceries take a bite, insurance takes a bite, gas takes a bite, your phone bill takes a bite. Subscriptions take tiny little polite bites while pretending they are not involved. By the time you are done, there is barely anything left. And the worst part is not just being broke. The worst part is feeling confused because you keep asking the same question, where did all the money go? And that question is the trap, because most paychecks do not disappear in one dramatic moment. They disappear in layers, quietly, automatically, in small charges, fixed bills, rising prices, convenience fees, emotional purchases, debt payments, and little modern expenses that did not exist in your grandparents' budget. Rocco knows a trap when he sees one, and this trap is not always you being irresponsible. Sometimes it is the design of modern life, not an excuse, a design. Because today, a paycheck does not just have to pay for what you buy. It has to pay for what you owe, what you need, what got more expensive, what became required, what became subscription-based, and what you use to stay sane after all of that. That is why it feels like your money has a hole in it. And today, Rocco is climbing into that hole with a flashlight, a tiny calculator, and deep suspicion. Let's start with the most obvious thief, the big fixed bills. These are the expenses that hit before you even make a choice. Rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, utilities, phone, internet, student loans, minimum debt payments, childcare, medical bills. Whatever is already waiting for your paycheck like a raccoon at an open dumpster. The problem with fixed bills is that they do not care how your week went. Your rent does not say, "You seemed stressed this month, let me be smaller." Your car insurance does not whisper, "You know what, you have been through enough." No, it just arrives. Same face, same due date, same emotional damage. And because these bills are fixed, they eat your paycheck first, before groceries, before savings, before fun, before you get to feel like the money was ever yours. This is why a person can make more money than they did 5 years ago and still feel worse. Because their paycheck got bigger, but the mandatory bills got bigger too. If your income rises by $200 a month, but rent rises by $300, congratulations. You got a raise and still lost. This is where a lot of people get tricked. They think, I make decent money, so why am I always behind? But income does not matter by itself. What matters is how much of it is already spoken for. If most of your paycheck is claimed before it arrives, you are not managing money. You are hosting a financial evacuation. The money enters. The bills chase it out. You wave goodbye. And once fixed bills take the first giant bite, the next bite comes from something even sneakier. The cost of just being alive. Food is the perfect example. Groceries feel personal because you are physically choosing them. You walk into the store, grab eggs, bread, chicken, fruit, cereal, maybe one suspiciously expensive bag of chips, and suddenly the total looks like you purchased supplies for a small village. And you stand there thinking, I bought ingredients, not a yacht. When the raccoon looks at the receipt and says, this is suspicious, something has gone wrong. Food inflation hits hard because you cannot simply stop eating. You can switch brands. You can use coupons. You can buy cheaper cuts. You can cook more. But at some point, your body continues to make unreasonable demands like nutrients and dinner. The same thing happens with gas, electricity, household supplies, toiletries, and medicine. These are not luxuries. These are the maintenance costs of being a functioning human adult. And maintenance costs are brutal because they do not feel exciting. Nobody feels rich buying laundry detergent. Nobody says, "I cannot believe I treated myself to trash bags," but these little necessities keep stacking up. A toothbrush here, toilet paper there, dish soap, deodorant, light bulbs, batteries, cold medicine, school supplies, pet food, parking, tolls, oil change, replacement charger because somehow the last one died in combat. None of it feels like a big purchase, but together, it becomes a whole second rent payment made out of tiny annoyances. This is one reason your paycheck feels like it disappears faster than your memory can track. You remember the big bills, but you forget the small survival purchases. And the small survival purchases are not small when they happen every week. And then comes the modern subscription layer. Humans invented convenience, then made it cost $14.99 a month. Streaming, music, cloud storage, apps, software, delivery memberships, fitness apps, security apps, meditation apps, budgeting apps that charge you money to tell you that you do not have enough money. This is not a bargain. This is cheese inside a cage. The subscription model is powerful because it avoids the pain of a big decision. $180 a year sounds expensive. $15 a month sounds like a shrug. So you shrug 6 or 7 times, and suddenly your paycheck has a monthly leak. And subscriptions are especially sneaky because they become invisible. Once they are automatic, they stop feeling like spending. They feel like weather. Oh, look, another cloud payment passed through the financial sky. The companies know this. They do not want you deciding every month. They want your money leaving without friction. That is why free trials ask for a card. That is why cancellation feels like finding a hidden door in a haunted website. That is why the button to subscribe is bright, easy, and smiling, while the button to cancel is buried under Settings, Account, Preferences, Billing, Manage Plan, Emotional Surrender, and a final pop-up asking, "Are you sure you want to be happy?" Rocco has reviewed the numbers. The trash is organized, but subscriptions are only one part of the automatic money drain. Debt is another. Debt is strange because it turns old spending into current pressure. You may have bought something months ago, years ago, maybe when life was more expensive than your bank account could handle. But the bill shows up now. Credit cards, student loans, car loans, medical debt, personal loans, buy now, pay later plans, store cards, financing deals that looked friendly at the time, like a raccoon offering directions in an alley. Debt does not just take money. It takes flexibility. $100 going to debt this month is $100 not going to groceries, savings, repairs, or breathing room. And interest makes it worse. Interest is the fee you pay for not having enough money earlier. That is a wild sentence. Being short on money can make the future more expensive. That is why debt can feel like running on a treadmill that charges admission. You pay and pay, but the balance barely moves. You make the minimum payment, and the debt says, "Cute. I will still be here next month." This is why people can feel trapped even when they are trying. They are not only paying for today. They are paying for yesterday, while tomorrow is already lining up with a bill in its hand. And when money is tight, the system often offers solutions that cost more money. Need to borrow? Pay interest. Need cash fast? Pay a fee. Miss a payment? Pay a penalty. Overdraw your account? Pay for the privilege of being negative. This is where being broke becomes expensive. A person with a big cushion can avoid late fees, buy in bulk, handle repairs early, and wait for better deals. A person with no cushion has to react, and reacting costs more. If your tire is bad and you have savings, you replace it before it becomes a disaster. If you have no savings, you keep driving, hoping the tire respects your dreams. Then it blows, you miss work, need a tow. pay emergency prices, and suddenly, a $200 problem becomes a $700 event with emotional seasoning. That is not stupidity. That is pressure. And pressure makes people spend differently. Which brings us to one of the most uncomfortable reasons paychecks disappear: exhaustion. People love to talk about budgeting like humans are spreadsheets with shoes. Just make a plan. Just cook at home. Just stop buying coffee. Just compare prices. Just meal prep. Just do a side hustle. Just be disciplined every waking second until you become a productivity robot with excellent credit. But real life has friction. You get home tired. Your brain is fried. The fridge contains mustard, one sad tortilla, and a vegetable you bought with optimism. Delivery suddenly looks less like a luxury and more like emergency emotional infrastructure. You are not buying tacos. You are buying the will to continue. That is why convenience spending is so powerful. Fast food, delivery, ride shares, pre-cut food, vending machines, impulse buys, convenience store snacks, online shopping, express shipping. These things are expensive because they sell relief. They sell time. They sell not having to think. And when life is too busy, too stressful, or too draining, not having to think becomes very valuable. This is why telling people to just stop spending misses the point. Sometimes spending is not about wanting more. Sometimes it is about surviving the day with slightly less pain. But the trap is that relief spending solves the feeling for a moment and creates pressure later. You buy convenience because you are tired from financial stress. Then the convenience spending makes the financial stress worse. Then you get more tired. Then you buy more convenience. That loop is extremely profitable for everyone except you. Modern life is very good at turning stress into transactions. Bad day? Buy something. Lonely? Subscribe to something. Busy? Order something. Anxious? Upgrade something. Bored? Scroll until an ad convinces you that your life would improve with a countertop ice machine. And honestly, maybe it would. But Rocco is watching. The other thing making paychecks vanish is that money now moves too easily. That sounds good, but it can be dangerous. Years ago, spending had more friction. You had cash. You saw it leave. You had to go to a store. You had to write checks. You had to physically notice the transaction. Now, money disappears with a tap. One click, one swipe, one saved card, one face scan, one app, one little button that says buy now with the confidence of a villain in a clean suit. Digital spending makes money feel abstract. You do not hand over $20. You tap a rectangle and receive a sandwich. The pain is delayed. The bank account finds out later. And because everything is digital, the small charges blend together. $6 here, $9 there, $23, $12, $38. Little dots on a statement that look harmless until you add them up and realize your money did not disappear. It migrated quietly to snacks, fees, upgrades, tips, delivery charges, random apps, and one purchase you barely remember but apparently felt important at 11:43 p.m. The problem is not that every small purchase is bad. The problem is that small purchases are easy to underestimate because each one asks to be judged alone. Is $7 a big deal? No. But $7, 10 times, while rent is high, groceries are high, gas is high, and debt is waiting? Now we have a raccoon meeting. This is why budgets fail when they only focus on categories but ignore patterns. The real question is not just what did I spend? It is what situation keeps causing me to spend. Are you buying lunch because you forgot to pack food? Are you ordering delivery because you are exhausted? Are you impulse shopping because you feel behind, bored, or stressed? Are you paying late fees because bill dates do not match payday? Are you using credit cards because your fixed expenses are too close to your income? Once you find the pattern, the problem becomes less mysterious. And less mystery means more control. Not total control, Let's not pretend you can budget your way out of a rent increase with motivational quotes and a jar of lentils. Some costs are genuinely too high. Wages have not kept up evenly with the pressure many people feel. Housing, healthcare, childcare, transportation, and education can swallow budgets before personal choices even enter the room. But personal choices still matter. Both things can be true. The system can be expensive and your habits can still make a difference. Rocco believes in holding two thoughts at once, mostly because he has tiny hands but strong opinions. So what actually helps? First, stop thinking of your paycheck as one pile of money. Think of it as a line of hungry animals. The first animal is fixed bills. The second is survival costs. The third is debt. The fourth is future you. The fifth is fun. Most people feed fun and future you with whatever scraps are left after the others attack. But if you wait until the end to save, there may be no end, just dust and regret. Even a small automatic transfer to savings on payday can help because it treats future you like a real bill. Not because $20 will fix everything, because it creates separation. And separation is power. Second, track the leaks, not every crumb. You do not need to spend your whole life categorizing toothpaste. Look for the spending that repeats without giving you enough value. The subscription you forgot. The delivery habit that appears every stressful Tuesday. The store runs where one item becomes 9. The fees that happen because bills are timed badly. The memberships you keep because canceling feels annoying. Start with the leaks that are both frequent and fixable. That is where the money hides. Third, build friction on purpose. If companies make spending easy, you can make it slightly harder. Delete saved cards from shopping apps. Move tempting apps off your home screen. Put a 24-hour pause on non-urgent purchases. Use a grocery list. Cancel one subscription before starting another. Create a separate account for bills so the money does not sit there looking available when it is already wearing a little name tag that says, Electric Company. This is not about becoming cheap. It is about making your money harder to ambush. Fourth, give yourself a guilt-free small spending amount. That sounds backwards, but it matters. If every purchase feels like failure, you eventually rebel against your own budget. A realistic plan includes being human. A small amount for fun, snacks, coffee, games, hobbies, or whatever keeps you from turning into a haunted spreadsheet can prevent bigger emotional blow-ups later. The goal is not to never spend. The goal is to spend on purpose, because when money is tight, random spending feels bad twice. First, when you buy it, then when you need that money later. But intentional spending feels different. It says, I chose this, and I know what it cost. That is dignity, and people need dignity more than they need another lecture about avocado toast. So if your paycheck disappears fast, do not start with shame. Start with curiosity. Look at the fixed bills. Look at the survival costs. Look at the debt. Look at the automatic charges. Look at the stress spending. Look at the tiny leaks that happen because modern life is built to make money leave smoothly. Then ask a better question. Not just, where did my money go? Ask, which part of my paycheck is being taken by real needs? Which part is being taken by old obligations? And which part is being taken by traps I can start closing? That question gives you a map. And a map matters because when your money disappears, it can feel like you are failing at adulthood. But often you are living inside a system where every company wants a small, automatic piece of your life. Every bill arrives with confidence, and every convenience offers relief at a price. You are not crazy for feeling squeezed. But you are not powerless either. Your paycheck may be under attack, but it is not invisible. The more clearly you see where it goes, the more you can protect the pieces that still belong to you. And protecting those pieces is not just about money. It is about breathing room. It is about choices. It is about getting paid and not feeling like your bank account immediately fell through a trap door. That is the real goal, not perfection. Not becoming a financial monk who eats rice in silence under a single light bulb. Just a little more control, a little more margin, a little more money staying in your corner long enough to actually help you. If this helped your paycheck feel a little less mysterious, like the video, subscribe to Rocco Explains It, and comment with the next modern life trap Rocco should investigate. Because a paycheck should not feel like a magic trick where you are the one disappearing.